Julie, thanks so much for being here.
It is such an honor. Thank you.
Yes, for those people watching that don't know exactly your story, tell us a little bit about your family dynamic today.
Okay.
And what made you guys want to adopt.
Okay. Well, my husband and I are high school sweethearts, so we've been married almost 26 years, and we have 4 children. And so 2 of them are biological children, and 2 of them are adopted siblings from Ethiopia that we adopted 10 years ago in 2008. So 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 adopted, 2 biological.
So before you guys went on your adoption journey, you got out of debt first, right? As a family.
We did, yeah. We kind of went gangbusters at it. We paid off our credit cards, our student loans, sold a car, got out of all of that debt in a relatively short period. So those 2 journeys are kind of really interestingly intertwined for sure.
Together, yes.
Yeah.
And then you guys did it, in an incredible way because you did it debt-free.
We
to
did.
the point that you wrote a book, You Can Adopt Without Debts. Yes. Which is so good and so helpful. So this whole episode, we're talking about adoption, a little bit about foster care, because it's on the heart of a lot of people.
Right.
And I think even in the last probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, but even 20 years, just the exposure with social media and how we're just so much more connected as a world.
Absolutely.
You just see the need, and I think people's hearts have just grown even more. And so the biggest problem, though, I hear with people is it's just so expensive.
It's just so expensive. And
so expensive.
And that's why I wrote the book, because
Yes.
literally I would talk to people and they go, oh, that's so neat, but I could never do that because I could never afford it. I've thought about it, but I could never afford it. And so I had a friend that was urging me to write our adoption story. And I'm like, well, there's nothing really special about our adoption story, per se. And she's like, yes, there is. And so that was really it. People coming with that question. And for me to say, okay, if this is something you really want to do, then there's a way for you to do it without going into debt and without, taking out huge loans or emptying your whole savings account or any of those sort of things.
So let's talk about that. So what are kind of the practical things that you guys did, things that people can apply to their life today if they want to start this journey, but do it without going into debt?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing I would say, too, is looking at the different kinds of adoption. Some people, maybe you have infertility issues, and so you really want a newborn baby, and that's important to you. Other people are really drawn to international adoption, and we were for sure. And then other people, foster care. So the number one easiest way to adopt without debt is to adopt from foster care because it literally will cost you nothing. I've talked to some people, they're like, oh, we paid like $300 or a couple hundred here or there. But adopting from foster care, virtually everything is paid. And then private domestic adoption, again, that can happen several different ways, attorneys, adoption agencies, but that can range anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000, depending on where you go. And international adoption, again, you're probably looking at $20,000, $25,000, $40,000, some in excess of that. A lot of that is travel costs. Sometimes some countries you have to go 2 different times.
So the price itself changes obviously with which type you go through.
Right.
So how did you guys do it debt-free, and how do people do it debt-free? Like what's in the book, Julie?
Give us the secrets. Well, I actually wish I had written the book before I adopted because I learned a lot through the process of writing the book that I thought, wow, I wish I had known that. We did do some fundraising, which we can talk about, but I, at the time, was doing a lot of freelance work, web design, that sort of stuff. Just when people came to me, we probably paid for about $10,000 to $12,000 of our adoption fees with just freelance jobs.
And just extra work,
coming in. Extra work,
yeah.
My husband was selling stuff on eBay. We did have a big garage sale with some friends. I'm trying to think, and then just being tight with our money, kind of going back to those things that you did when you were working on the debt snowball and like don't eat out as much and don't impulse buy the cute shirt at Target. And some of those, I just put it back every time.
It's a sad day when that happens, but it's good discipline.
So some of those types of things. And so that's how we did it. But there are lots of different stories and lots of different ways that different people do it.
Yes,
so.
And I've had friends that have gone on this journey and they've done a lot of fundraising. So talk about that a little bit. Like what are ways people, creative ideas or things that people don't think about when it just comes to classic fundraising? Yeah,
there's so much fun stuff that you can do, actually. And I think a lot of people, when they hear fundraising, they're like, oh, I don't want to ask for handouts. And that's fine. We have a family that did a karaoke night. It was like, you pay $5 and you can make somebody stand up and sing some really embarrassing song. When they get called, they pay money. They can make somebody else come sing. You could pay a cover fee when you walked in of like $30 and then nobody could sign you up to sing. And they made
funny.
Yeah.
That's probably what I do. And they made I do 60 just to verify that I don't have to get up and sing.
I would too.
So
and they made like $1,300 that night, and so it was just a really fun time.
That's so great. Because I have friends in my mind right now thinking about them, is they're always like, oh, I just feel weird asking for money.
Yes.
You know, some people do
Right.
GoFundMe pages or all of that, but this set of friends. And so just thinking of creative ways. And I'm like, oh gosh, that is so, it's so out of the box. And if you are the person taking the money and you feel uncomfortable just asking
Right.
for it, yeah, you're getting involved doing other things
Right.
that is still receiving that profit that you're
Yeah.
able to use towards the adoptions. And even going back to just like the simplicity of what you said at the very beginning of like working extra and watching the budget and
Yeah.
cutting expenses. It's like you're saving up for something.
Yeah.
Because adoption and kids in general, I mean, whenever you just talk about family, emotions rise high, right? I mean,
Right.
like it's a very emotional thing. But to say, okay, we're gonna slow down the pace a little bit, and we're gonna look to see how can we do this wisely,
Yeah.
and do this without debt, and that the fact that it is possible.
It is
And you
possible.
did 2
Yeah.
adoption processes through
Well,
international.
one process, yeah, same
Yes, but
time.
two-
'cause,
but
yeah,
two
but
children,
kids,
yeah,
It
through the
wasn't double,
international.
which is nice. But
Yeah,
yes.
that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are things that you wish you had known in this process before entering it that
I wish I had known about the resources out there for help too. There's different grant organizations that will either do direct grants. Show Hope is one. There are some that will do matching funds for you. And so that's great. Two, like second income. You know, I did the web design freelance thing, but there are a lot of organizations out there who have adoption benefits. So if you are going to go out and try and find a second job, like try and find one at a place that's
Yes.
going to give you some money at the same time.
Absolutely, right? Partner with why you're getting the extra job.
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, Julie, I feel like you just give such hope to this subject to the point that like it's possible.
It is
so
possible.
possible. And there's so many resources out there. There's so many ways to go about it. And you can. So if your heart for adoption is there's a way to do it debt free.
Don't let the money stop you.
And you're a living proof of it.
Yep.
So well,
Absolutely.
Julie, thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Seriously, in your book, You Can Adopt Without Debt. If you're a family that wants to adopt, seriously, buy it off Amazon. Go ahead, purchase it. So many great ideas in here, and you're just awesome. So thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Julie. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Rachel.